The phone buzzed once on the kitchen counter. A single venomous rattle that sliced through the low hum of the refrigerator. I was wrist-deep in dishwater, the suds gone cold, when the screen lit up with her name, Lisa. My stomach lurched before I even read the words. The message was a blade slipped between ribs. Accidentally slept with Jake. We're getting back together. The plate in my hand slipped, porcelain exploding across the tile like a gunshot. Shards glittered under the pendant light, each fragment reflecting my face, pale, slack, stupid. 10 years of marriage detonated in 8 syllables. Accidentally. The word tasted like rust. I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. My pulse hammered in my ears, a frantic drumline. Lisa was 3 states away on her girls' trip. A 4-day bender in Savannah with college friends I'd never met. She'd kissed me goodbye on the porch at dawn. Coffee breath and coconut shampoo. Promising postcards and souvenir shot glasses. I'd believed her because believing her was easier than admitting the distance that had crept between us like frost on glass. I typed, "Call me." Sent. The little blue bubble sat there, delivered but unread. The house felt suddenly cavernous. Our wedding photo on the mantel. Her in lace, me in rented tux. Grinned down like a cruel joke. I could still smell her perfume on the throw pillow she'd hugged that morning. Gardenia and betrayal. I paced. The floorboards creaked under bare feet. Each step replaying the last 6 months. Her late nights at the office. The way she'd started locking her phone. The sudden interest in kickboxing classes that left her flushed and laughing in a way I hadn't heard in years. I chalked it up to midlife restlessness. We were 34. Mortgages for 01ks, the slow erosion of mystery. Normal, I told myself. Fixable. Another buzz. Photo this time. Lisa and Jake on a wrought iron balcony, Spanish moss dripping behind them like funeral lace. His arm around her waist, her head on his shoulder. Same crooked smile she'd worn the night she said yes to my proposal. Caption. Meant to be. My knees buckled. I sank to the floor, phone clutched like a grenade. Jake. The ex who'd shattered her at 22. Who'd left her sobbing on my dorm futon until I held her through the night and somehow, impossibly, became the upgrade. I'd spent a decade proving I wasn't him. I called. Straight to voicemail, her voice bright and recorded. "You've reached Lisa. Leave a message or text. I'm probably dancing." The beep mocked me. "Lisa," I said, voice cracking like cheap plaster. "Pick up the phone. Please." I hung up and opened her Instagram. The girls' trip stories were still public. Brunch mimosas, ghost tours. A blurry video of them singing karaoke to Sweet Caroline. No Jake. But in the background of one clip, a familiar tattooed forearm poured champagne. The same arm now wrapped around my wife in that photo. The room tilted. I tasted copper. My therapist's voice echoed from last year's sessions. Trust is a choice, not a feeling. I'd nodded then, smug in my certainty. Now the choice felt like swallowing glass. I texted again. "You owe me an explanation. Now." 3 dots appeared, vanished, reappeared. Then. It just happened. Too much wine. Old feelings. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I love you, but I never stopped loving him." The apology landed like a slap. Sorry for the accident, not the choice. I scrolled back through our texts. Months of heart emojis and miss you gifs. Lies braided into affection. I remembered the night she cried in my arms after a fight with her mom, whispering, "You're my safe place." Safe places don't detonate. Headlights swept the driveway. My heart lurched. Had she come home? But it was just the neighbor's teenager, bass thumping. I laughed, a sound like breaking ice. I opened my laptop, fingers trembling. Flight tracker. Savannah to home. Earliest departure 6:10 a.m. I could be at the airport before she landed. Demand answers face to face. Or I could stay, pack her things, change the locks. Both options felt like amputations. Another message. He's booking us a room in Charleston. I need space to figure this out. Space. The word she'd used when we argued about kids, about money, about the way I still left dishes in the sink. Space was her escape hatch. I stared at the shattered plate. One piece had her initials etched from our wedding. L&E forever. I picked it up. The edge sliced my thumb. Blood welled, bright and obscene. I watched it drip onto the tile. Each drop a countdown. The front door opened. Not headlights, her key in the lock. Lisa stood in the doorway, suitcase dragging behind her like guilt. Her mascara was smudged, hair tangled from airplane air. She looked smaller than I remembered. "Ethan," she whispered. I held up the phone. "Explain." She stepped over the porcelain, eyes flicking to the blood on my hand. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this. But you meant for it to happen." Silence stretched, thick as humidity. Outside, cicadas screamed. "I thought I was over him," she said finally. "Then I saw him at the bar. One drink became 5. He said all the things I didn't know I needed to hear." "Like what?" My voice was gravel. That I was still the girl he fell for. That our life, us, was a compromise I'd settled for. The words detonated. Settled. I'd built a life around her, and it was a consolation prize. "I was going to tell you," she continued. "After the trip." "Clean break." "Clean," I echoed. "Like your accident?" Her face crumpled. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I looked at her, really looked. The freckles across her nose, the scar on her knee from our honeymoon bike crash. 10 years of shared grocery lists and inside jokes into a farm.d. Alarms. Gone. "Get out," I said. "Ethan. Take your suitcase and go to Charleston. Or go to hell. Just go." She reached for me. I stepped back, glass crunching underfoot. Her hand fell. At the door she paused. "I do love you." That part wasn't a lie. The door shut. The house exhaled. I sank amid the shards, blood and porcelain and the ruins of forever. My phone buzzed one last time. A new message from an unknown number. A video. I pressed play. Lisa and Jake in a hotel bed, sheets tangled, laughing as they recorded a message. "Hey Ethan," Jake's voice smug. "Thanks for keeping her warm. She's coming home now." The screen went black. I sat in the dark until dawn, the cicadas my only witnesses, holding the jagged piece of our wedding plate like a talisman of what I'd lost, and what I'd never really had.